I'm Chase Sr. This is the San Francisco 49ers Report. Thanks for clicking on today's show. And I promise you, you will be informed, entertained on today's show. Because that's what we do, and that's the standard every time I'm in front of this camera and on this microphone. As for what we're talking about on today's Niners Report, does the rest of the NFL hate what the Niners are doing? Let's have some fun. So The Athletic posed a question in a recent article and project. What are the top 10 front offices in the National Football League? They polled 35 NFL executives and 5 coaches. And here's a look at the point system here for how they decided upon the top 10 front offices. First place got 10 points each vote. Second place, 7. Third place, 5. Fourth place, 3. Fifth place, 1. So that is the point structure there to give you that insight and to give you that breakdown. A programming reminder, by the way, before we get started, you do not want to miss our Niners Patriots watch party. You don't want to miss any of our watch parties because our watch parties here on YouTube, the best place to experience a Niners game day outside of being at the actual game. And if you hit that subscribe button, you get daily coverage on the Niners that, as I said off the top, is insightful, informative, entertaining, thought-provoking, and involves you because you have a voice. All right, let's share the screen here, and we'll go through the foundational elements of what The Athletic was trying to accomplish with this survey in trying to determine and find out what the top 10 front offices were in the National Football League, and then obviously some expanded thoughts on the Niners specifically. For a league bound by parity, the NFL is ruled by the organizations with the most stability. I like the word structure there and the word usage. That all starts up top. A stable owner and a trustworthy front office are non-negotiable ingredients to sustain success on the field. The best front offices not only identify talent, they share a vision with each department of the organization, and they don't allow office politics to interfere with the priority of winning games. Or as one high-ranking executive surveyed for this project said, it is the balance and interconnectivity of all the different departments and decision-making that goes into the product on the field and the plan for the future. How you balance each of those is a challenge of a good front office. The results favored stability, with 8 of the top 10 teams featuring a general manager or general managers who have been in place for at least 5 years. 4 of the top 6 teams, including the top 2, promoted their GMs from within. So that's kind of the start and the reasoning and some thoughts on what The Athletic was trying to do here and some words from some NFL executives. Here are the results of the top 10 front offices in the game from this Athletic survey. You have the Baltimore Ravens there in first place. They received 150 first place vote points and then 109 other vote points. The Kansas City Chiefs, 130 first place vote points, 44 other vote points. The San Francisco 49ers, 30 first place vote points, 121 other votes. After that, you have the Philadelphia Eagles, which actually got more first place votes than the Niners, but less total votes, so that drops them down to 4. And then after that, the Detroit Lions, Green Bay Packers, Seattle Seahawks, Los Angeles Rams, Buffalo Bills, and Pittsburgh Steelers. And what kind of stands out about that list, other than the Detroit Lions, all of these teams for a long period of time have been winning organizations, stable organizations with good front offices, good general managers, good head coaches, and they have been sustainable winners in the NFL. So to simplify this, the top front offices per the Athletics poll, you have the Ravens, Chiefs, Niners, Philadelphia Eagles, Detroit Lions. The Ravens have been to multiple Super Bowls since the turn of the century. They haven't won one in a little while since beating the Niners in 2012. The Chiefs are going for 3 consecutive Super Bowls with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes leading the charge. The Niners have been to 7 NFC Championship games over the last 14 years and 4 NFC title appearances over the last 5, with 2 Super Bowl appearances. Since 2000, the Eagles have been to 7 NFC title games and 3 Super Bowls. And then the Detroit Lions, I think their new front office structure is really good. You have Brad Holmes, the general manager. He's put together a really good roster. You have Dan Campbell, and that team is really good. So the Niners coming in at number 3. The total points that they received, 151, with the 3 first-place votes. They appeared on 26 ballots. The CEO, as we know, and the owner, Jed York, the general manager, John Lynch, and the head coach, in Kyle Shanahan. And here's the background for why the Niners finished where they did. Let's share the screen once again. Producer Chip, appreciate you, my brother. The 49ers, like the Chiefs, have a power coach who was instrumental in selecting the general manager. Shanahan and Lynch, after enduring a 10-22 start to their tenure, have reached 2 Super Bowls and 4 NFC title games over the past 5 years. Their 62 regular season and playoff wins from 2019 through 2023, the 3rd most in the NFL. Also, 3 former members of the Shanahan-Lynch front office have landed GM jobs elsewhere. You have Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah of the Vikings, Rand Carthon of the Titans, and then most recently, Adam Peters of the Washington Commanders. From the top down, this is a quote, they're on the same page, share the same vision on how to build a team. That's coming from an AFC talent evaluator. They hit on late picks, and those guys contribute. That's a fact. And they've got the best roster with 7 All-Pros. The Niners' upper echelon talent rivals any team in the league. They have extended many of their key pieces, even if negotiations have gotten contentious at times with Nick Bosa, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and Trent Williams. The issues that they had, said a general manager, referring to this summer's Ayuk and Williams holdouts, were because they have so many good football players. And then lastly, the 49ers invested 3 first-round picks in the ill-fated 2021 draft to trade up for quarterback Trey Lance. But the development of Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, into a potential long-term franchise quarterback made up for Lance's failure to launch in San Francisco. I agree with that statement. They missed on Lance. It happens. They got aggressive. They needed to be aggressive, but they hit on Purdy. If they pay Purdy near the top of the market, the challenge then becomes balancing out the roster with those new cap constraints. And that will be a reality, but the NFL salary cap is also going to continue to rise. And look, I know a lot of you are already in the comment section saying, but Chase, this is all fine and dandy. The Niners haven't won a ring. They haven't won a ring. But as a fan, this is what you ask for. You ask for your organization to go all in, to care, to spend money, to put a good and competitive product on the field, to have an owner who will write the checks. Jed York does that, even though he has flaws. To have a general manager and head coach who are on the same page in building the team and in coaching the team. You want to have a sustainable winner that doesn't have the dysfunction of the Dallas Cowboys, who, by the way, were not on that list. And so I know the Niners haven't won the ultimate prize. They're close, and they've been close, and I think they're going to reach the mountaintop and the final destination. But as a fan, would you rather see this football, or would you rather see the Chip Kelly, Jim Tomsula football and some of the bad football under guys like Mike Singletary that we saw in the early 2000s? Just some thoughts. Let's take some of your super chats here. Beast Mode, $2. Hey, Chase, any word on Hassan Reddick coming to the Niners? No word there. And I know the Niners could use some pass rushing help, but they could also use some run stuffing help. And if the Niners move at the deadline and they try to bring in a player, it might be a defensive tackle and not an edge rusher. The thing with San Francisco is they're light as far as edge talent and depth goes, and the same can be said at defensive tackle. I'd make a move for Reddick, even though he's not really a good run defender, because, look, you still have to get after the quarterback, and Hassan Reddick and Nick Bosa would be a great 1-2 punch at the edge rusher spot, and the Niners have the most cap space in the NFL. Kevin Andrews, got to beat the Cowboys, chat. Isn't it crazy that 2 years ago we were like a number 1 defense with weak quarterback play? I love the Jimmy Garoppolo shot there. And now we have a number 1 quarterback with a weak defense. The Niners need pass rush help. Can you imagine what this team could look like if they get both the offense and the defense and the garbage special teams unit. So 3 phases, I should say, all clicking on the same page. That's how you win a Super Bowl. Matthew Short, Chase, do you think that we could change defensive coordinators during the year? Look, I had said this when they hired Nick Sorensen and then they had Brandon Staley on the staff. If Sorensen doesn't work out, that's the backup plan, and that's the man who's waiting to take over. And with the team that has Super Bowl aspirations, with an expensive roster, the pressure is on. With this window closing, would Kyle Shanahan make the difficult move and controversial move to fire Nick Sorensen or to demote him and elevate Brandon Staley? It could happen because sometimes when you're desperate, it leads to those types of decisions. Marvin Kimbrough, not watching the game on Sunday if I see Ronnie Bell on the field. Look, he's had some awful drops, and that was the case in the preseason. It was the case against the Rams where he really cost the team. I saw Ronnie Bell play great football during his rookie year in the preseason, and I said to myself, looks to be a player. I mean, he earned his spot on the 53-man roster, but it looks as though right now he's pressing. He has lost his confidence. Can he get that back? That's what the great athletes have to do. Be sure to hit that subscribe button for all types of content here on the Niners Report. And as always, thanks for supporting the show.